Everything's beautiful now. Giving birthday, everything. So you know the drill. First couple of minutes, I'm letting people come into the room. I shall shuffle cards. Turn this a little bit. Yes, PJs, okay? Shout out to everyone working from home. Obviously, I'm always working from home, but even I felt the shift. Definitely going slower, definitely having more rest, definitely behind on emails. Where you've been poised waiting. I'll be honest, my energy always changes as soon as it's time for me to do this, and I've been really tired. Those of you who were in class on Sunday, like my energy was really high vibe for the whole class, and I was fine Sunday evening. Monday I was really tired, and I woke up tired this morning. But I knew, you know, I'm working on being really consistent, so I knew I was going to do tarot therapy today, and I said I was, so that was the plan. And so most mornings I start with kind of meditation and prayer and just asking if my ancestors have anything they want to say to me, start the day out. And one of the messages was like, make sure you do tarot therapy. And I was like, well, I already said I was going to do that. So like, why are you telling me again? But halfway through the day, I was like, okay, because I'm tired. And I was liable to be like, oh, I'll just do it another time. But they were very keen on us being together today. And like I said, whenever I open up this energy, tiredness goes out the window, I'm good. But I wanted to come on a little bit earlier than normal. One, because you know I rarely get here on the dot, but also because it means that we could potentially finish a bit earlier, or if I need to stay a bit longer, it's not going super late for me. Also because most of you, or not most, a lot of you might be working from home. I'm thinking more of us can be here today live, which is nice. So this is pretty much the same playlist we were working with last week. It's currently just cycling through my liked songs. And this Pray For You song by Janae really hit me. So I've been living with it. How is everyone feeling today? Let's start there. I normally ask your signs and where you are, but let's just start with how you're feeling. How are you doing, everyone? It's her birthday today. How cool. Cute pajama, yes, inner child energy here. You know how much I love The Lion King. I so want to do... I wish Lion King 2 was on Netflix. I don't think it is, because if Lion King 2 was on Netflix, I would be hosting one of those Netflix parties, because it's such a slept-on film. And when I say Lion King 2, I don't mean that hot mess that, you know, Queen Bee was in, because I wasn't feeling that. I mean the sequel to Lion King. It's still too loud for me. Look, no, I can't really listen to music and talk at the same time. I mean the sequel to Lion King, where it was Kovu and Kiara. That's my shit. So and lots of people haven't seen it, so I would love us to watch it together. But yes, here I am in my Lion King pajamas, bringing relaxation energy and bringing our inner child's present. We can look after ourselves. Let's see what you've been saying. On my period, so suffering, sending you love. Feeling better than earlier. Low energies today. I've definitely also been tired. Calmer but slightly unsettled, understandable. Much better than last week. Isolation has got me going mad though. Listen, as a hardcore hermit, and when I say hardcore, I'm hardcore hermit. I don't really need to see anybody or interact with people for 2-3 weeks. No problem. That's light work for me. But even I am feeling the difference. I guess it's like when it's your choice to isolate versus when it's the advisable thing to do, the energy is different. So I've been feeling the need, like the urge to go outside much more than normal. I was also saying on Sunday that I've been feeling some crown pressure and some third eye pressure, so like needing to kind of literally get out to reset that energy. So I understand it, man. So all of us introverts and hermits that are currently excited about permission to stay inside, be mindful that you might still need to step up and be out more than you would normally be. Feeling uncertainty but hopeful, yes. Anxious and unsettled, deep breaths, yeah. Whew. Gorgeous, keep doing that. Weirdly calm, that's okay. I feel calm now. I've fully surrendered to social distancing, but I know I'll need as much virtual interaction as possible. Hopefully I can help with some of that. The Lion King passion. Listen, I love lions, period, but I love Lion King. Glad to be here, grateful for you. You too. I can relate. I'm feeling very seen by spirit. That's beautiful. Okay, so let me know your signs. Sun signs, please. Who's in the house? I have no clue where I'm starting with today as well. I don't feel like I've got a particular game plan. I will pray before we officially start, but yes. Hey, little Mel. We got Cancer in the house. Leo. Water signs. Cat. I'm really hoping that we get loads of Capricorn babies next year. This seems like baby making time for you guys who are sequestered with your lovers. Libra, Cancer gang always strong. Aries, come through Caps. Taurus, look at the Capricorns. You not been forced to work from home. Leo and Libra here from Devon. Taurus, let's skip Jades. Scorpio. Okay, deep breaths for me, everyone. And just before I start, let me know where in the world you are. I'm assuming I've got a lot of Londoners here, a lot of UK people. That's good, Libra. No Virgos in the house. Where's Gang Virgo? What's good, Pisces? There's a lot more Cap energy than usual. Yes, Capricorn's working from home. London, Chicago, Babylon, hilarious, for sure. Birmingham, UK gang strong, Brian, Brussels. All right, Brummies. Okay, so we're like UK heavy today. Interesting. All right, I'll take the Virgo rising. Texas, wild Croydon. We might need to work out together, you know. Like, we need to like be at a distance from each other in the park, because listen, I have not worked out a single day since I've been home. Peckham, Northumberland. Okay, good. I'm gonna do a prayer. Tennessee. Did I close the window or not? I can't remember. Oh, well, I hope I didn't actually, because there's a whole lot of incense blowing past me. Girl needs to breathe. Got your crystals, anyone? Anyone got crystals with them? I'm starting. Where is my emerald? I don't think I've. Not emerald, I've got my emerald. I don't think I've brought my amethyst over. That sucks. I'm loving my amethyst at the moment, but I'm starting with emerald and selenite. Bring the crystals if you've got them. Deep breaths, everybody. Really extend the exhale. Spirit, we thank you so much for the honor of this moment in time, this pause from the fray to come together, to be in a place of peace, to be actively holding awareness of what's going on, but to maintain as best as possible divine neutrality, to come from a higher perspective, to come from a place of wisdom, to come from a place of community support, to come from a place of hopefulness and willing to work towards that which we would like to see in our communities, to come from a place of resistance, spiritual and political, so that we can reorganize, re-strategize, restructure our society, so that it can be life-affirming, spirit, so that it can be set up in such a way that it allows us to self-actualize and flourish and grow and connect spiritually, and that we're not living in societies that are predatory and full of trauma. We thank you for the opportunity and the choices that we have at any given moment to align with that, to choose that for ourselves. And we pray that we would step more fully into that reality as a collective, that we will begin to use our power in honor and in aid of each other. I thank you specifically for the gifts, the calling that you've given me, and allowing me to stand in the gap and to be of service to these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people that you've brought into my sphere, into my perimeter. I pray that I would be a worthy and diligent and sensible teacher today, that you would bless my mind, bless my mouth, so that I can be of service to you on behalf of this community. I have no plans today. I have no particular intentions about how this session should go, so I hand it all over to you, and I pray that this will flow in divine order, and that what is needed from this community will be received in this moment. What is the highest vibration, what is a love-based perspective, be amplified in this moment. We protect this space from interference, and I do call on the archangels to be here in the four corners to hold this vibration. I also call on my honorable ancestors. Thank you for crowning me. You're welcome to participate for the benefit of myself and all that are here. Ashe. Okay. I'm not even gonna lie, these numbers giving me performance pressure. Oh, I don't need this light on, so let's turn that off, conserve some energy. Let's do what we normally do. Green fluorite, rose quartz, and night with me now. Nice. We'll do what we normally do, which is we will just start with some opening messages for this week and beyond. I'm going to start with oracle cards. Deep breaths, everybody. Please set the intention that you'll receive wisdom. Do you know what I love? The building blocks card jumped out, and it was also a reminder for me to talk about it. So I always do this. I start the session without really talking about, I don't really do admin. So let me start with some admin. Those of you who are on my newsletter would have received an email today. If you're not, make sure after this you subscribe on my website, NicoleBlack.com. So on Saturday afternoon, I'm going to be holding an open community class. It will be online, a webinar, where I'll be doing spiritual building blocks. Okay, so perfect cards. Spirit just came out like, girl, remind them. So when I did the love clinic on Sunday, one of the things that really came through as I'm starting to work more closely with you as a community. Oh yes, sorry, I do forget. I'll do that in a second. I need to write what we're doing, but let me just say notices and then I'll do it. What I noticed is that you're needing more information about some of the basics of your spiritual practice and the foundations, right? The things that are the building blocks of anything else you're going to do. One aspect of that is, let's say, spiritual cleanliness and psychic self-defense, okay? So as you start opening up, particularly those of you who are Black and have come from very religious backgrounds, there's a lot of fear about what it means to open up spiritually and what might be coming through when you open. So we want to kind of really look at spiritual protection, psychic self-defense. The other aspect as well is ancestral connection. Lots of you are lacking that, have fears about it, don't know how it works, don't know what to do. You have lots of questions about spirit activity you might be experiencing at the moment. So I've decided to set up a webinar this Saturday to go through that with this community so that you've got your building blocks. Okay, now like I said, this year for me, the focus is community based, so it is a sliding scale cost. Okay, so it's between a scale of £10 and £20. You pay according to what your means are. That just means that I can continue to do this without angst, and so that money is not in the gateway, it's not in the doorway preventing people from accessing what they need. To sign up, you just need to send your fee to my PayPal, leona@nicoleblack.com is the PayPal email, or to my Cash App, which is the # Leona Nicole Black. All the details are in my newsletter. If I get new people signing up to the newsletter today, I'll resend the email if you haven't got it. And I believe I said class on Saturday is at 2 to 4 p.m, but I'll need to double check that. So come to that class if you need it. It's an open class. You're all welcome to sign up. Let me just write what we're doing for those who come in later. There we go. can't post it though. Post. I don't want to turn off comment and I just want to see what we're doing. There we go. Hit comment. There we go. All right. So other announcements. I did say in my newsletter also that I'm going to be taking a step back. It's to be confirmed when, but I'm going to be taking a step back from serving for a little while, and I think it will include the weekly tarot therapy too. I'm waiting for things to happen, so I'm just kind of following my guidance. So I don't know when, but it will be soon. I'm thinking it's probably April, and I have closed down 2 video call readings for that reason. One, because I'm already tired, and 2, I'm doing a lot in terms of showing up in this space and other community spaces. So I'm going to stop seeing people in the kind of more in-depth video call setting so that I can reach more of you for a little while. I'll probably open that up again at some point. So because of that, I am doing a pay what you want live tarot reading again this Friday. I enjoy it. You seem to really love it. So again, it's pay what you want to get your personal questions answered. I'm only going to be online for an hour-ish. The question of will the class be available afterwards, my hope is that it will. I'm always caveating it because technology, but if I can record it, actually, sorry, I'm lying. I'm not lying, but I'm remembering my guidance. So the live class on Sunday, I'm not going to make available for anyone who isn't there, but Spirit has asked me to do a separate non-live recording, and that will be available to everyone if you can't make it. Cool. What was I just saying? Yes, I'm only going to be online for about an hour. So if you do want a personal reading from me and it's a pay what you want reading, it is best for you to sign up for that now, because I'm going to probably max out at 10 people. And there's a lot more than 10 of you in the community, right? So get the reading if you want it. Again, details in my newsletter, and it's the same links to pay whatever you want. Is there anything else, Spirit? I'm restocking Rest and Repair this week. Love Galore, I've still got a fair amount of in stock, but I ran out of Rest and Repair, but I've got the ingredients all here, so I'm going to make a new batch tomorrow. I'm also adding eucalyptus leaves to it to support the immune system, and there's chamomile in this latest batch too for anxiety, and there's obviously lavender and all that other good stuff, so that will be available to purchase, and I'll probably post that tomorrow and the day after. Okay, so building block stuff out of the way. Again, check the newsletter for more details. So messages for the week. I was going to say it doesn't feel like Monday, and I remembered it's Tuesday because I normally do this on a Monday. Yep. Interesting. Yes. Let's get some more. Yeah, I'm going to take one more. I think this is a complete, even a confirmation of what I prayed. Let me just clarify one of these cards. Beautiful. Love it, love it. Beautiful. So this is it's a very different energy than what we normally do, but I think it's a lot to do with what we're currently experiencing. So the first card is Here and Now. I probably will pull some specific coronavirus related messages in a bit, but in terms of opening up this space, the first message is Here and Now, and it's talking about our fears, really about what it means. I'll just give an example for those of us in the UK, for example, who rent, and I know that they've recently said that they're going to give landlords a kind of mortgage payment break, and it's like, well, what will that mean for renters? There's so many like questions about our future at the moment. Whether that's financially, whether that's health-wise, maybe you're separated from your family because they live in other spaces. There's really, even as I'm saying that if I'm not actually anxious at all. Sorry, I don't mean to say that to be facetious, but I'm not in my personal life and day to day. I'm not feeling any anxiety. But as I was saying that and describing the different scenarios, I could feel it rising up. So it's really important that we remain rooted in the present. That doesn't mean pretending nothing's happening. It doesn't mean not strategizing, but too much trying to project worry, particularly into your future, is not going to help you right now. I'm also feeling with this egg, to remind everyone to maintain golden egg meditation. So what that is when you're doing your meditations, whenever you're doing it, it's picturing, visualizing yourself in a golden egg. I love that. Loud windows open. I love that meditation, particularly because for me it is a great barrier against what is outside that's unwanted, but it's also an amplifier of your own vibration and energy inside. Okay, so it's about keeping you strong, keeping you resonant. So golden egg meditation, staying here, up in your meditation practice as best as possible. And now, most of you know that when I do readings or I channel, my empathic gift is that I feel what you're feeling. So I'm starting to get headaches and like I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling shortness of breath, um a lot of fear, but in the headspace, which is I think a lot of the questioning, the trying to figure out what's happening energy. So as best as you can, come back to the breath, come back to the present moment. And it's not about, like I said, ignoring or not making plans for the future, but you need to make those plans from a space of divine neutrality, right? Spiritual neutrality. So not from worry, not from fear, not even from chaos or excitement, right? Because some people love the madness, let's be honest. So it's about calming yourself down so you can make reasonable and you can feel your intuition about what your decisions are, because I know for a lot of you it's very practical choices. Okay, do I go here, do I travel here, do I spend time with that family member, do I go to work, do I stay home? Lots of really strategic stuff, so bear that in mind. Now we do have message in a bottle. I love this message for us because this is actually about us in the community, as a community, and this is about us maintaining communications with each other. So even as we are having to be alone, what's also coming through just in as well, so it's not just basic chat. If you can see that the bottle is buoyant in the water, it's talking about actually having conversations that relate to our emotional well-being and the truth of what we're really feeling. Okay, so the banter's great, the gallows humor, I'm all the way here for it, I'm enjoying it, I'm on Twitter every day cackling at your coronavirus jokes, and we need that. Or maybe you don't, but I do. Like we need that laughter energy to pierce through the tension, but we also need space to really talk about what we're feeling on a deeper level. Now for some of you, like I said in the newsletter, it's because your homes aren't actually safe, right? So all of this like self-isolate, you might be like, it's safer outside, or I haven't got more peace at my job. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's like bearing in mind that you might be in conditions right now that might be bringing up things for you emotionally. So finding space to talk about it. This Three of Cups generally for me is my community energy at the moment, the card I'm associating with community. So really making sure that you are reaching out as much as possible, both in terms of asking for help, but also checking on people. I'm also feeling with the Mother of Fire the need to maintain spiritual practice at the moment in a collective sense. So I asked in the newsletter, is there anything that I could be doing to support the community more? I do feel like my normal, this is, I'm literally have like, okay, I call it like Jonah energy, like Jonah in the Bible. Like anytime I get told to do something, I'm pretty resistant, or I take my time with it. It takes me a while. I rarely, when it's, there's stuff that I get told to do, I'll just do, but some of the bigger stuff I'm like, I heard you but I don't know, and it will take me a while before I do it. But one of the things I was feeling that could be beneficial to us is actually having collective meditation in the morning, or a collective silent space, or a collective nap space, or whatever it is, like coming together in our spiritual practice. Okay, this is still kind of under the community energy, and it's really here with the 8 of interference card here, and I feel like it's a little esoteric, so I'm gonna dig a little deeper. I'm not wearing my what's underneath that t-shirt today, but you know that's my motto, so let's go deeper, because I feel like it's not, yes, we need like emotional support right now, but I feel like this Mother of Fire energy is also dealing with those levels of spiritual interference that are going on right now. Okay. Whew. This is like, I'm a Virgo, you all know that. Um, and I like I have a, what would I say? Not love hate, but I have a interesting relationship with Pisces energy. It's the opposite to my energy. My dad's a Pisces, my aunt's a Pisces, my other aunt's a Pisces. There's a lot of Pisces energy around me in my family context, and I find Pisces energy like I associate Pisces energy with the distortion of the new age, right? Now, obviously, that's not all Pisces is, but all of that kind of like love and light, let's just be happy. Um, I don't really sit in that vibration, and I think specifically because a lot of my calling as an intellectual and academic was kind of dealing with the realities of systemic oppression, specifically as it relates to Black people. The whole like let's get together and love each other is very difficult for me still, but all of that caveat to say that is the message. Ace of Cups and Empress energy here is really just saying that we need these collective practices to deal with the spiritual interference. But it's like I wanted to go deeper to understand what was going on this kind of like negative interference, but they were like, you don't need to zero in on that. What you need to zero in on is the energy of communal and unconditional love, and the energy of holding space from one another and creating. That talks about love-based reality and creating communities and projects and work out of that space. That's what the requirement for us is. Now I'm seeing messages, so let me scroll up. You're all liking the collective meditation suggestion. I thought it may be a good idea to share this, but I saw in the meditation today a grey whirlpool come down from the sky, and I would describe it as a pull bodies up from the earth. Let me see. Hold on. I'm asking Spirit if I should say any more on that. King of Wands. I can. Literally. Queen of Pentacles. I can. Page of Swords. I still have to be careful about what I say. I have been saying to my close friends, and in the class, I guess, on Sunday, that I've been seeing the energy of death hanging over the city. Like, I can see it. Like, literally, I can see it. And I say this, the UK is a dark space as it is, but I'm seeing that energy. So you saying that you saw that grey whirlpool and this kind of, the bodies coming up from the earth, I've been seeing something very similar. It's not a fixed timeline, is the message here. Two of Pentacles and Page of Cups, more Pisces energy. So Pisces really coming through with the fix right now. The message here, Two of Pentacles is my change card or my decision making card. The idea that the timeline is not fixed, as in what we're seeing, even me seeing the death energy doesn't have to be the outcome. We're still at a point where we can change that timeline. We can do things to literally disrupt the interference energy here, and that is us coming together collectively. We'll see if more comes up about that when I pull specific cards on Corona. What else are you saying? This weekend, I thought you would be great in doing a guided meditation. Honestly, they've been asking me to, and I've been like, I don't know, man. I've been like, I don't know if I have that skill. Like, I would say for the last 3 weeks, I've been being told to do it, and I've been like, me? For me, I saw that as a heavy negative energies of what has been lifting. We pray for that. Mood, I get it. Hey Jeanette, holding you all in prayer. The collective has to decide, take precautions, stay inside. Okay. Cool. So the other card is a change in the wind. So that is really the confirmation of this is not a fixed timeline message, right? We don't have to consent to mass death, okay? We don't have to we don't have to accept that as the necessary reality of what will happen. Okay, there is change in the wind. I also feel like it's for those of you who follow me on Instagram, and I reposted that person's meme saying 2020 said this is not its final form. I do feel like there is, I want to change decks, hold on, there is a lot of there's more to come. There's still a lot more changeable energy, mutable energy going on at the moment. Okay, hold on. We decide. I love it. So yes, there's so much change, but it's our time to work, right? It's our time to decide. It's our time to invest. It's our time to choose what those changes will look like. Okay, and I'm saying that on a creative level, I'm saying that on a spiritual level. I'm talking about structural change, of course, but it does come back to what Jeanette was just saying as well. Like, part of our choice is how we choose to deal with the pandemic, right? Like, literally how we choose to deal with our physical health and the spread of it. Okay, so it's on both levels where we have choices. If I have the energetic reserves, yes, we'll see. Like I said, whenever I show up, actually my energy is fine. It's normally afterwards that I'm learning right now how to recharge, using sun energy specifically. So the chariot card is hair. So this came through, I said this in a newsletter, that there is some messaging right now around, whilst we're being in the here and now, we're rooting into the present, also holding the intention, or like too much spiritual jargon, um, plan, let's just use the word, holding the plan that we intend to move through, and we intend to rebuild, and we intend to um create, right? Like, we're not like, this is not, there is a dystopic energy around, right? But this is not our end and our doomsday and our finishing point. Okay, so it's about moving forward, but also it's about moving forward from the heart, which is why we had that Ace of Cups and that three Empress energy. We're relearning the terms under which we need to move forward. And I will say this, and I don't mean to be insensitive at all to people who are suffering in terms of illness, or even people who are passing. But what I'm noticing is that lots of you are exhausted because that is the function of capitalism. And so this is almost given you permission to rest. Okay, it's like, for those of us who are introverted and hermity, it's removed the social pressure of having to show up for people or having to explain why we can't. And then for everybody else who actually wants rest, okay, who wants to sleep, who wants to spend more time connecting, who wants to be more creative, who want to live differently, it is giving you a chance to play in that energy, a chance to sink into it. And last year, towards the end of last year, obviously this came through very strongly through the Capricorn vibration, but generally speaking, talking about coming out of that burnout energy, okay? Like, really, you know, I was number one burnout queen, like work all every given hour, and like really having to break that pattern and learn how to live and produce from what we refer to as the feminine energy. And collectively, as a culture, as a society, we're getting the chance to do that. So then again, you get to choose how you move forward. Okay, are you going to rush back to status quo, okay, not having time for yourself spiritually, not having time for your family, and maintaining the same economic systems that we've had? Or are we going to move into more community based thinking, living, planning? And even before we think about community, are we going to start to prioritize the need of the heart and the soul in our daily lives, right? And also connection. You know that the phrase for the work I do for me is wellness and connection. Like, are we going to start prioritizing that? And that means in your family, blood, and chosen. Like, are we going to start thinking about what our spiritual wellness needs are, and just saying, like, it's non-negotiable, okay? Because the system that you've given us, we've seen what's happened in literally a matter of days. Your thing is crumbling. Like, it's not it, okay? So it's like, okay, as far as within our control and our power right now, beginning to make those shifts and those changes, and even if they feel small and incremental to you, collectively they have impact. And again, it is about strategy. It's about thinking about how we leverage our own power in aid of each other. Let's scroll up. I see messages. think I've seen most of these. I have to score my voices, Stephen. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, this is a blessed voice. I'm very grateful for it. I had a dream. Oh no, I think I saw that. Oh, from another dimension. Oh, there's a lot going on. Time for reimagining. Kalechi is feeling this message. I was literally saying to my friend, I was praying for rest after being so burnt out in December. This is the thing, you didn't know that this was the way it would come, but collectively, we've needed a timeout. And this is a mass scale timeout. My body has been feeling really light today, almost as if it could just take off. Ooh, for a Taurus, you're really in a different space. Last message, and like I said, all of these messages really just built upon each other. Very simple, very clear. Was imagine. I'll put a little bit more on that, but I mean, do we need to? Really? Ace of Cups again. Love-based reality. Ooh, look at this. Oh, spirit, come through. Okay. Hierophant Tower, Eight of Pentacles. Don't you love that? This is literally the existing system, the existing structures, the existing belief system, okay? The idea that things have to be the way that they are because they've been this way for so long and it's not possible for us to have anything different. Literally crumbling before our very eyes. Uranus and Taurus energy. Oh, I'm saying that, and I just meant that in terms of the astrological placement. But these cards is literally that. This is the Taurus card, and for me, the Tower card is Uranus and Mars. Okay, like literally lightning bolts here. Love it. And what do we do after? We rebuild. And if I'm being honest, when I said rebuild, I almost got a correction. Like it's not a rebuilding; it's actually a continuation. This eight energy, because what is being destroyed has nothing to do with what we've been creating. To be honest, what's being destroyed has been the opposition, the things in the way of what is life affirming. We've been working already on what we want, on what is good and whole and well. And so moving this energy out of the way allows us, it's like a path clearing. It lets us continue. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it. Okay, I just love when spirit speaks with one voice. What are you all saying to me? Do I think this period could be the antidote to what I was calling the attack on the divine feminine around May last year? I don't even think I even understood the depth of that message when I was talking about it. What I feel is the divine feminine energy, cosmic mother, is fine. That energy feels strong to me. It feels available, open, ready for us to work with. I feel like what I was talking about in May and the understanding I have now is almost like what would you call it? I don't want to say a programming, right? Like, yes, there is a matrix program that is about the denigration of the feminine energy and the female body, women specifically. Like, that is, that is the function of patriarchy. And I feel like that is part of what will continue to be dismantled in this system. But I feel underneath that a really strong, resilient energy. And I feel like you know what a good example of that, so I was going to say we could choose to align with that. A perfect example of that is, growing up, for me anyway, a lot of the messaging was that women couldn't be friends because we were so catty and we gossiped and we hated each other. And that's pretty much what I heard a lot of as a young child. That wasn't my experience. I had quite a wide network of friends in my life, but in, let's say, the last 5 to 7-ish years, like, we have seen through the intellectual work of Black feminism and then that being put into practice, deep bonds of sisterhood and solidarity on the literal collective open media space. Like, it's such different messaging, and that is like yes, we've been told like we hate each other. Do you know what I mean? But we looked at ourselves and was like, nah, we've always been holding each other down. Like, and that's how I feel. Like the feminine energy is strong despite what the external messaging is. Ooh, okay. You keep having the thought that things after this crisis, things will change in the favor of the people. What do I think? I think if you continue to have that thought and we continue to work according to that plan, now yes, it's your choice, our choice. Jeanette says adjustment, amplifying the new. Yes, this is it. We are eradicating the unnecessary. Yes, work with all the divine feminine beings. They lead the way through at this time. Anything else? Feminine is super strong. We love it. All right, where we going next, Spirit? I feel like I'm reluctant. Well, next is to address the pandemic more specifically. Can we all do deep breaths, please? Love it. You really just be here in the space. Okay. Three of Swords at the bottom of the deck, interesting. In reverse, though, I'm not really reading reversals right now, but that does feel like that was important. I need to clarify some of these messages. Bear with me. Yeah, we've got to we got to hold the line, is kind of the energy I'm seeing and feeling. Yeah, a lot. This Hermit card, which was the last card to come out, it was very much my energy. But generally speaking, this feels like needing to align with thought leaders, okay? But particularly people with integrity that you can trust, especially as it relates to spiritual thought leaders. Like, we're going to need more of that energy, and we're going to need to have discernment about who applies there, like who is worthy of leadership. And it's not leadership in the ways that we might understand from our social justice movements, right? It's not like a cult of personality. It's not about one person bearing the crucifixion energy for all. It's not about sacrificing an individual for the collective. It's way shower energy, actually. So it's more like leading by example. I'll say more about that in a minute. But the first energy that came through, which I was very excited to see, was the sun. So sun energy been coming through mad strong lately. I would say even if you are self-isolating, try to go out into the sun if you can. I have the privilege and luxury of having a park across the road. So I spent 2 hours outside yesterday just in the sunshine, and obviously it's nicer in London at the moment. If you can be literally in the sun, that's going to be good for you. If you can just experience it from where you are in the home, that too. In a sun alchemy, using the room, did a sun meditation in her oracle talks last week. So check that out, because this energy, this needing to align with the sun, needing to use that energy is coming through strongly. So do that. I feel, however, that the message that's coming through is really 3D, in the sense of they want me to give it to you for where you're at. And I don't think everybody's ready for the esoteric sun energy. But so I will say that this is also feeling like hope, faith, and confidence, okay? Like, it also feels like asserting your own boundaries around thought forms, okay? So what you're thinking. And I don't mean this in like law of attraction sense. I don't mean like, oh, if you feel anxious or afraid, terrible things are going to happen to you. That's not at all what I'm saying. I mean, okay, because we had the interference card. I think I might have gotten rid of it. earlier, right? And that was Eight of Swords. So it's about maintaining the sovereignty of your own mind, maintaining the boundaries of your own mind, being aware of the perimeter of your own thought patterns, and as best as possible, aligning that with what is good for you. Now, like I said, for those in class, I didn't say it to the collective, I'll say it now. Being high vibrational doesn't mean being happy, okay? It's not about being happy, okay? It's not even about being like energized, particularly. And you'll notice that earlier, towards last year and earlier this year, I kept talking about vibrational mastery. Like, that's the thing Spirit kept saying to me. And so you can be sad and you may be happy, okay? Like you're having a human experience, but it's about coming back to home frequency or center, and you need to choose what that is. And if you think about this concept of even the way our galaxy works and the way that the earth is rotating or spinning around the sun, you need to set what your home frequency is so that you know what you're coming back to, okay? Because a lot of what is external is going to attempt to zero you down in terms of your energy and what you're able to create for yourself and for others. So set your home frequency so you know what you're coming back to. The other thing that I've been saying as well is I'm not that the moon is bad in any way, but I'm not strongly associating with the moon. I am not manifesting with moon energy or anything. Moon cycles for me are timing cycles. Okay, they're like it's like a cosmic clock. It's like nature's clock. Okay, so it's telling us this is where we are in the movement of our planet, in the movement of the energy. So in terms of this high priestess energy as well, trying to lean more to the sun polarity over the moon polarity, whatever that means for you. Okay, but let's just say, is it fair for me to say this? Less in the, I'm going to say this, take it as it resonates, okay? But less in the shadows at the moment, less of the shadow work, more in the lighter aspects of things. I'll leave it at that. And remember your kind of responsibility for what you hear and how you live that out in your life. I'm not taking responsibility for it. I'm literally your messenger. Okay. So, Two of Swords. Oh, sorry, I haven't been reading what you've been saying to me. Yes, to being in the garden. Being in sunlight is really important. Sun is our greatest protector. Yes, I'm just constantly seeing sun energy sliding through. So Two of Swords is holding the line. That is what the energy I felt with that. And look at what came through underneath that. Eight of Wands and the Nine of Wands. So progression in the energy anyway, but the message here really is thank you, Spirit. We need to hold the line to allow this new energy to come through, which will bring about healing. The healing will be slow though. With the Nine of Wands, it's not we're not talking about overnight transformation. We're talking about time to integrate, time to come to terms, time to shift in a more gradual, sustainable way. So we need to hold the line around that so that we can bring that through. Now, some of you will have specific charge in your personal life, depending on where you are in your spiritual journey, to maintain that. I'm just going to ask if we can get, no, not these cards. Hold on. Sometimes when I can't, when I know I need to change a deck and I'm not sure which, I literally just hold the ones I'm thinking in my hand and feel like that's really, it comes through quite strongly when I do that. As a tip for those of you, I know sometimes people ask me, how do I decide which deck to clarify with or whatever? That's how intuition. And if I'm like between, I literally feel it in my body and it's this deck. I want to see if I can get more specific for us about how we hold the line. Yeah. You have choices and decisions right now. Two of fire. The messaging that's going to be coming at us a lot is this idea of scarcity or choice, or there's nothing we can do, okay, or like time is running out, or a lot of just kind of like zero sum gaming. But this energy is actually talking about really, two of wands is also my road opener card. It's really talking about the path we choose, okay, us having choices, decision making, and really two of pentacles is decision making on a more practical level. Two of wands is how we make decisions that open roads and close others, okay, so it's like choosing a path. That's better. Two of pentacles is like choosing the strategy or making kind of like concrete choices. Two of wands is like choose setting the road. What road are we moving down physically and spiritually? So we have choices, okay? Don't let the messaging be like, no, there's nothing we can do here. We also get daughter of earth and daughter of air. I'll come to daughter of air. I'm gonna I feel the message, but I want to be more specific because I'll say it because it's me. It's really my own mind that's getting in the way. The daughter of air message, as it's coming through, is really being conscientious about what we're communicating and how we're talking about what's happening. And the reason I was hesitating is because I don't like the new age, like positive only vibes, right? I don't, whatever. But there is a need. It's why I asked, like, if I'm going to talk about coronavirus, like, what is the responsible way for me to do that spiritually in my role? And I feel like we all need to have a greater sense of accountability about what we're communicating about ourselves and the collective right now and in this moment. Like, we do need to do that because that has a lot to do with our the energies, the roads that open or close going forward. Okay, so we're not doing, unless it's for bants and jokes, like, and I think the joke should fly, but we're not doing dystopia. Okay, we're not like, it's all awful. Okay, I saw someone tweet actually that they're surprised that all the kind of dystopic pandemic films are not the most played on Netflix right now. And I'm like, because people don't want to see that. Like, they're looking outside. It's like playing in the windows. So we're not amplifying it's all awful, clear all the shops of everything, and hunker down and ask Jesus to come. We're not doing that. We're doing daughter of earth, which is continuing to be stewards, okay, good stewards of what we've been given on every level, right? Stewards of the planet, stewards of our own resources, good stewards of our own body, and remembering the message that's been coming through for me as I've been checking in the spirit regularly for what we should, how what we should be approaching, particularly resource wise, is remembering the abundance and the growth that is happening in the earth. In fact, we are literally approaching spring and spring equinox. Like, we are coming back to that phase when the earth reminds us, right, that she's abundant and she flourishes. So we need to avoid that kind of like scarcity and fear energy and selfishness of like grab everything you can find and hoard it, because it also creates waste, okay? And we need to be diligent. Now, like I said, I'm not therefore saying that if you know that you're going to be indoors for several weeks, buy your one carton of milk and then be miserable you don't have any more. Okay, I'm not saying that. Buy what you need, but I mean, don't buy until December is what I'm trying to say, okay? We're not giving into that. Be a good steward of what you have, and that also means for some of you, you're going to be able to be this for yourself and others. Okay, let's scroll up. We do have choices. It's hard to see. Colette, she says, talk the things. That's a big one because I've been doing a lot of shadow work and it's been very hard going. Like I said, you need to exercise your own intuition as you listen to this, because you might be in a specific place where you need to maintain that work. So take it as it resonates. But for the most part, we need to be kind of aligning more with the sun energy. What else? Woo was what? Oh, I'm pressing all sorts. Sorry, hold on. Where was I? Was watching and driving the whole time. You're a queen, going home to watch it properly later. Thank you, much love, Kalechi. Um, okay, so you're all in agreement. We're all here together. Hey, Rose. There is enough for all of us. There is. There is, and it doesn't look like it, but no, I'm lying. It's not that it doesn't look like it. We're not behaving like it, but I have not seen a single inclination that we need to be acting like the earth is going to implode and give us nothing more. Okay, cool. So hold the line, allow the healing and the new, really, the healing is what I'm calling it, but really it's actually just new energy. Allow this new energy to come in. It needs a space, it needs a matched vibration. Okay, it needs to find its rooting down here. So allow you be the doorway for that energy is what I'm saying. And then what we get is really, the Justice card with the Four of Cups is talking about the way our legal systems and particularly our governments are continuing to disappoint. Facts on facts. But despite that, we have the King of Pentacles, which is protection energy here. And like I said, the Hermit card. And as we are continuing to build and as we're making real radical shifts to the structures and this how we're building and sustaining things in our lives individually and collectively, we need to be coming and checking back for wisdom. Okay, we need to be coming back and getting, this is what I said the other day, why it's really important that you're honing your intuition and developing your spiritual skills, why it's really important that you're cultivating that ancestral connection is because it is live updated information. Okay, you get the changes as they happen. It is not a static timeline and path that's just like we're just walking it and we can't change anything and we can't do anything. And so because of that, guidance can change, energy can change, and you need to be able to connect to receive that for yourself. Okay, so you want to get the building blocks like I talked about that can help you do that, but you also want to be aligning with people that are beyond you, Hermit, have gone further than you, way showers, in their spiritual path, so they can give you, they can come back with the wisdom about what this looks like. Okay, how can we restructure, what are we doing differently? And I want to say, you know, part of that, and I understand why, and I try not to, if I'm being honest, I try my best not to be judgmental, except for the fact that I am actually a judge. Like, that is one of my roles, and so I'm learning how to lean into that and to hold that vibration without, but understanding and being compassionate about where people are. Now, I'm saying all this to say, I've seen messaging around at the moment, obviously around like taking advantage of the current situation as spiritual people, whether that was booking cheap flights and moving around, whether that was getting in on stock markets right now. Now, I understand the thinking around it because for many of us, we have been barred from these systems where people are accumulating wealth and stability. Okay, and we've been disenfranchised. But what is vibrating and resonating for me right now is that the redistribution of wealth and of power and the restructuring. Oh, it's already been an hour. Sorry, I need to come out and come straight back in because I've got literally 23 seconds left. So I'll be right back. I understand why we are choosing to try to get in where we fit in, basically. But what is resonating with me right now is that those systems are not sustainable, okay, and they're not justice. It's not the energy that is going to, they can't stand. And really, if I'm being honest, I also feel like it's a reification of the same parasitic capitalist model that is, okay, let's exploit a situation and let's use other people's misfortune for our benefit. Now, listen, I'm not telling you not to buy your stocks, okay? I'm not telling you not to do what you want to do. I'm just talking about be mindful that as we start seeing the collapse of these systems and we start bringing down, okay, that I love that the Hermit goes up to the mountain spiritually speaking, and then bringing down wisdom and information about what structures are healthy and appropriate and abundant for all. As we start doing that, your stock market and whatever else you've been doing, or that these things that have been preying on us and our communities, we don't really need shares in that shit, is what I'm saying. Like, it's gotta go. Okay, so do what you need to if you feel guided, but as best as you can. As spiritually aligned people, we're not looking to exploit the market. Do you know what I mean? And that's where the door of the earth energy comes back. Like, we're not functioning from that space of scarcity. Okay, we are bringing in new systems, we're bringing in new points of wisdom, we're bringing in new ways of being, and they have to be new. It's not about just getting into what exists because we can. And listen, those of you in here who've been in higher education, whew, will it not show you the pepper and the fire? Because I would say that I'm grateful for the education and the training that I had, for sure. I'm grateful, but I was also worthy and deserving of it. Let's not get it twisted. But seeing the policies and the finances that were made available for many of us to go into studying was dope, right? And then you get in there and then you start dealing with the crucible of bullshit, I'm sorry to put it this way, right? And then you realize, right, that you're still in the burning house. Like, you literally got funded to go into the fire. And personally speaking, and this is not like a diatribe against academia, but it's remembering that the master's tools can't dismantle the master's house, right? And we can do our best to make it more livable, but that's not where we're at right now. We're not looking for how can we make these predatory systems more tolerable. We're looking for new systems, and that's where the line energy is, and that's what the daughter of air energy is about. Because if you think about this daughter, right, it's the feminine energy that meets the mental intellectual energy. Most of us believe there is no other system. Okay, most of us function as though what we've seen and what we know is it. And that's what we have to break through from. We are divinely creative beings, okay? We're so creative. And so that is what we need to do. Create new paths, things unseen. And yes, when we look around the world, it all looks recycled, same shit, same different day. But when we look to spirit, vast and infinite in availability and opportunity and ideas. So that's where we need to be coming to, and that's why we need spiritual leadership and guidance to help us to bring that through. I'm really sorry if before I close down the last live you had comments that I hadn't read. I'll try to see what you're saying now. Most of you are just vibing with the message. Which you think, Jay says, I think we should take more advantage of gaining knowledge, for sure. But make sure we're also gaining that spiritual knowledge that we can bring in new paradigms, like new sources of wisdom. Not sitting in the flame saying man is not hot. Stop. Reasons why I'm not putting concern about academic appraisal. Listen, I'm not the one. Like, the experience I had, I just want to encourage everybody doing what they're doing. And those of you who are called to that work, Spirit snatched me all the way out of that. It is what it is. Let me not come and discourage people about what's going on in that space. Okay. Hey, Nikki. I'm another one of my higher education babes who also really helped get me through the madness. I'll ask if there's anything more they want to say on coronavirus, and then we'll move on, fam. Ooh. Answer to that was yes, more to say. Okay. So that was one level of the message, but it seems like 5 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups, and 9 of Swords. Okay, is this how you lot are really feeling? Despite everything I just said, scarcity, fear, poverty, stress, confusion, uncertainty, anxiety, and sleepless nights. Because if that's what's really going on out there, then we got to talk about it. I am worthy, Samra. That's right. Like, I feel like when I went in, you feel all of this pressure to prove yourself. Oh, you funded me. Oh, I've got to show that I'm good enough to be here. What? I've been showing I'm good enough to be here. What a waste of time and energy. Sorry. Don't get me on the academic rant. I've been worthy. Okay. I've been had the range. Okay. It took me a long time to be able to get to the point. In fact, it took me leaving to be able to say that. Hilarious. And as I'm shuffling to bring through these messages, just like what I was thinking to myself earlier this week, is that teaching is my vocation. And I gained a lot of skills in my professional life, working in learning development, definitely when I was in academia and teaching there. But I will teach wherever, in whatever capacity. That's my gift. Okay, so you lot are all saying you're mad stressed, can't sleep. So Jazz just said, with the way the current system is set, I don't know how we'll be able to change it. This is really what we need to work on, because it's okay to not know how. What we need to get out of is the idea that because we don't currently have the answers, there are none. And that is literally how our political elites keep us trapped in the bullshit, okay? Oh, you've never seen it done any differently. Let me continue to prey on you and keep you subordinated. Do you know they're living differently? What do you mean? They're not having the experience we're having. They're having a completely different experience to us. So why should we feel like, oh, I just don't know how it will change, so it won't? Okay, there's other forms of wisdom and knowledge. And I know Mel's tweeted this the other day, and it's something I've always thought about, although I thought maybe in some ways it's a bit of an irresponsible message from me because there are a lot of political factors. But I always think about Haiti as one of the only nations that was able to disrupt, reverse, remove, oust, destabilize um, slavery. Like literally, and I believe a lot of that was spiritual. I believe a lot of that came through the presence and the connection to voodoo in that space. I really do. Now that's a bigger topic. African spirituality is a bigger topic. What we have done and what we haven't done with that connection to source, what we've used our ritual practice to do from what we haven't, that's a whole other topic. Not for today. But I'm telling you, we can't afford to believe that we're not creative and that we can't find creative solutions and creative answers, because maybe we can't find that from intellect, but we can find it in spirit. And I can say that as someone who spent my life devoted to intellect and the academic path and still values that. I'm not devaluing it. It's literally, I am the reader I am the teacher I am, I'm the healer I am because of that. But also someone who meditates and channels. Do you know what I mean? Like someone who just gets information from literally above. Like we need to bring the two together. Okay, so we're going back to that source of creativity. Source. Okay. Hey Taz. All right, scroll up because you've been. We also need deep thinking about new systems. Do you know what we need? Deep meditation about new systems. We've been thinking, we've been theorizing, we've been trying, we've been critiquing, we've been told everybody what's wrong. Okay, it's like I said, when people keep talking about this financial literacy stuff, because in this current climate people can't survive without their paychecks. Like there's nothing to do with financial literacy. Like we've told you all what's wrong. Have you all read the book How Europe Underdeveloped Africa? We've been told you this stuff. Sorry, let me calm down. I need to get off this my academic rant. We've said it, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, we said it, we know. So what we need now is creativity that comes from spirit, okay, to add in, to push back the forces of darkness that love to prey on us and to keep these systems in space. All right, enough from me. I know Mel feels the vibes. Spirit will give us the tools for sure. Trying to stay positive and keep smiling. If you've got to be negative, if you've got to feel lower feelings, you've got to do that. Say it again for the people in the back. Don't get me shouting again, everyone. Jeanette says there are other options, and many who have been doing the work of creating new structures. We have to keep leaning in their direction. Absolutely, and that's why we got the Hermit card. Okay, you need to go to those spaces of thought leadership, as I called it, but also people who are tapped in and tuned in spiritually. And what I'll say as well, and it comes through for some of you I work with, not everybody who is tapped in spiritually needs to be parading that externally in the world. Like I've said to people, your purpose is not to be out here, you know, letting everybody know what you do as a high priestess. Like it's not for you to tell people what your ritual work is, or you know, you're like plain clothes spiritualist. You're just meant to be meant to see you and just be like you're just an average person doing your average things. So we need to also in our meditation space, in our prayer spaces, listen to the siren going by, in our prayer spaces, praying that we have our plain clothes spiritualists, praying that we have people who have that higher connection also in those positions of power and strategic positions, okay, who are bringing through that wisdom and can be policy makers and decision makers, etc. at every level. That's what we need. But listen, no more of this, it can't change, we don't know how to do it. I'm not here for it, I'm not accepting that energy, you lot are not coming to me with it, we're not holding that line at all. We're just going to be like infinitely creative. And if you need anything, listen, if that were the case, Black people would have not survived the centuries we have. That's it. Okay? We could not have done it. Infinitely creative. We would not have done it. But if I don't stop, I won't stop. So let me calm down. Okay. You said your praise dancing. Look, I need to like... All right. You lot said Jessica Corbyn is the Gemini you stand. Jeremy tried to tell you lot, tried to give you a different government. They said, no, we don't want it. Now they're crying. All right. So you had the Five of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, and the Nine of Swords. What's the message for you folk? I'm supposed to change decks. Okay. Deep breaths. Wow. I'm not going to go up and get that, but should I? The card that flew out and is across the floor in my room is the Daughter Value. You might need to see it. I might have to get it because I feel like you might need to actually see the card. We stay with the lion energy. We stay with it. Okay, hold on. I'm going to get it. Because I feel like you need the visual. It's a good thing today that I'm fully clothed. Whoops, I threw some cards down as well when I did that. Okay. Right, so for those of you who are particularly feeling the scarcity energy right now, okay, the card that flew out that I felt was important for you to see, look at the different energy here, Daughter Value. And I think you need to see it because there is money and obviously value is beyond that. Yes, Sophie, it does. Sometimes I feel like that sacral chakra needs airing out, fam. So it is what it is. But something told me today to be fully clothed. Daughter Value, okay? Yes to the t-shirt, Inner Child Energy, Lion King, okay? The message here really is that see this as a door opening, a path opening, not a closing, okay? Now, I'll say this. Very often, the new comes through the ending, the destructive energy, the closing down, and many of you obviously know, like last year I was doing the different readings by zodiac sign, and when Spirit kind of said to me, kind of stop doing that, I didn't have any concept of what I would be doing differently. Like I didn't know what it would look like. And now here we are, fast forward several months later, and what I'm doing now is of so much more value. And it's not that what I was doing before was wrong. Okay, it was just that was where I was at. But what I'm able to show up and do now is of a complete different value to you than me just pulling the energy of the zodiac archetypes and saying what's going on with your, month or whatever. And no shade to people who are still doing that because it's important work. I'm just saying I understand now why that had to end. But at the time, not only did I not know what was be different, that was also an income source for me, right? So I could have stayed in Five of Pentacles and been like, well, source, if I don't keep doing that, what am I gonna do? This is my full-time job. But instead, I took the leap of faith. I shut down that income source and I allowed new creativity and literally new value to come through. And the energy of exchange that now exists for us, I wasn't doing pay what you want last year, okay? I wasn't doing community-based donation readers. I didn't have any space for that. I was exhausted from channeling all those messages, and now I can. So I'm giving you that as an example, as you see things closing down, as you see energies changing, also see it as a part of the creative process, the door opening to new things for you. Okay, and it's about you working differently. I said this maybe to my class, but then I have opportunity to, especially in this kind of lull moment, to start feeling and seeing what needs to be different. Okay, is working from home actually something that you need long term? Okay, do you actually just need to leave your job, and how they've treated you currently has let you know? I don't know, but there can be different things that you can be doing, and I'm not saying you need to use this time to start a side hustle. You might just need to rest, okay? But it's also about taking this opportunity to see how your life could be different and more aligned with what is of value to you and your family and your community. For those of you who are in states of anxiety and confusion, Angel of Strength, you need to be calling on lion protection energy, okay? The energy feels really rooted, really grounded. For those of you who are not strong, let me just ask, actually, before I start saying this. So I'll just start giving advice. Yes, clarify. So I'll say this. For those of you, listen, you need to prioritize connection with your ancestors. Let's start there. Those of you who are in states of anxiety, confusion, just don't know what to do. Okay, this is a reminder that there is wisdom, there is guidance, there is protection for you. Okay, there's everything you need, but it comes through what you're seeking to bring peace and clarity comes through your connection with your ancestors. So if you don't have that open, you need to work on it. Like I said, I'm doing a class on Saturday. If you can make it, will help you if you don't have that. That's one level of it. Now, those of you who your intuition is not that open, you need to continue meditation and cultivating that space. But when it comes to all of this fear and anxiety, what I would say is that the animal kingdom and animal energy is a good place for you to start if you don't have ancestral connection or any angelic or spirit guide energy that you connect with or are aware of. Okay, so a lot of the animals are already earth guardians, and that energy is there to help support you. And you may notice already that there are animals around you, okay? That you might notice that you see animals kind of showing up in your daily life, or okay, so make sure that if you are really at this point where you're kind of spiritually disconnected, and listen, if you are, it's a mad priority for you to sort that out. Okay, I'm not saying like stay with your intuition locked down and just ask animals to help you. Not saying that at all. Make sure you're opening up your intuition and working on that ASAP. But in the meantime, use at least lion protection, and you actually may already, if you look around, see that animals are showing up as protection messages for you. Yes, Jeanette, I will do. Okay. Is there anything else there, Spirit? No, that's it. So that's your advice on a spiritual level. Of course, you can also use earth energy medicines. Okay, I'm a lover of lavender particularly. What's really interesting, and I said this actually, I had a session with Inner Sun Alchemy Jeanette towards the earlier part of the year, and she asked me a question. I said I was anxious, and she asked me why, and I was like, because I'm a Virgo, like it's just it's just natural settings. But I would say actually that shifted for me a lot. I'm not experiencing a lot of anxiety at all. But when I was, and for me, a lot of my anxiety is generated in my stomach. When I was, lavender, oh, it's just like it works a treat. Chamomile tea is great as well. So make sure you're kind of using those homeopathic remedies. Okay, there's work you can do spiritually, mentally, but also supporting the body with literally what the earth has given you to do that. Okay. So I understand why I came on a bit earlier today because today's a longer session, but I'm okay with that. It was meant to be. What we're going to do now is what is unconscious that needs to come to our consciousness this week, which is a regular question I ask. I need some water. Hydrate, everybody. For those of you who weren't here when I was right in the beginning of the live, I was saying that if I could get us all to watch Lion King 2 together, I totally would. And not the Beyonce Lion King, I mean the sequel with Simba's child. That's really my cartoon. My inner child loves, like, if you lived with me, or my housemate knows this, like anyone that surrounds me knows, like all of my pajamas are literal cartoon characters. My inner child likes the Lion King. If we could, I might watch it tonight. If we could watch it together, that's what we'd be doing. Thank you for the compliments. The shade, I don't remember what did I say that was shady? I don't even remember. Was I shady without knowing? All right, Beyonce, listen, that was terrible. That film was really bad. That was atrocious. Yeah, they should have left my film alone. I'll never watch that again. Okay, so while we're on Disney films, not the Beyonce Lion King, yeah, that was shady, but it was trash. I mean, she's still Queen Bee to me, but sis, the Houston Nala just didn't do it for me. Lion King, Moana, Little Mermaid are my top 3 Disney films. Not in that order actually, but those are the top 3. And then like Free Willy, I've seen like all 4 or 5. Because like orcas are gang gang. Okay. Deception. Listen, that song, something I just play at home. Listen, and Jeanette, Moana, honestly, you all don't want me to start talking about Disney because that's not what I'm here to do. But I have to tell my Moana story again because I love it. And I'm so passionate about Moana. And I watch Moana whenever I'm at a point in my life where I have a difficult choice to make and I'm feeling Timor says Aristocrats is her fave. I'm feeling alone or overwhelmed with the decision because there's a point, spoiler alert, in Moana where she's like, I can't do this anymore. It's too hard for me, which is, normally my complaint to Spirit. And she's like, I can't do it. And they literally take back the responsibility for her. And that was so like, okay, so let me double back. And let me just allow myself to tell my story. So I can't remember. I think I was feeling quite down on the day. I was in my onesie. I was at my nan's. Clearly, I just want to talk about grandma and nan's, same person. I guess her house, my aunt's house, and we were all in our onesies. My aunt, my cousin, and I. And we were like, let's go cinema, because cinema's our thing. We love film in our family. It's our love language, right? So we're like, let's go to the cinema together. And I went online and the film was listed as literally 555, right? That was the time the film was showing. And I saw it and I knew I wanted to see Miranda anyway, but I was like, all right, we're going to see this, because that 555, it wasn't even like 1755, it was literally 555. I was like, I need to be there. And I was like, I'm not changing, I'm going in my onesie. So we all went to the cinema in our onesies, and my aunt aunt can tell you, I cried from the beginning of that film to the end, like just tears streaming down my face. It was like a literal love letter to spirit from, oh, from spirit to me. And really one of the first times that I understood my calling as a way shower, because to me that's all that film is really about. And so look at me waxing poetical about Moana. You guys started me, or maybe I started myself, but it's too late now. We're going to talk about Moana for a minute. So what I love about the Moana mission, and I think it really taught me a lot about how I was experiencing my spiritual journey. um Lion King 1 to 3 DVD available on Amazon. What it taught me about my spiritual journey is sometimes the way we get parts, pieces, right? We don't get the whole thing, and we don't get our whole purpose, and we don't get our whole mission at once. And what I love is that Moana believed that she was meant to get Maui and get him to restore the heart, and her purpose was just to take him on that journey. And I really feel like if she'd known all along it was her, that she was the one that was going to do it, she would have never left that island. But it's like she got out into the sea, she took that first step, she went on this journey, and then she finds out after Maui like abandoned her, she then finds out like it's you, like it was always you that was meant to do it. And I was weeping in the cinema, weeping, because I feel like that's what my spiritual path has been like. And it's been, you get told this, you get sent on this journey, you get given these instructions, and then halfway down it's like, so you're also this, and you also need to be doing that. And if spirit had told me from jump this is what it would be, I would have never gone. Okay, so I love that aspect of it, but I also love when she said it was too much. I love they took it back, cried my eyes out, because like I said, that's often been what I say. It's too hard for me. You don't understand what you're asking of me, you know. And seeing that, literally the sea, the ocean was like, okay, it's too hard. You don't have to do it. Tears, okay. And then her grandma coming through, and my strongest ancestral connection is with my own grandma. So her grandma coming through is the stingray and like comforting her. When she's like, because even though she said it was too hard, she knew it was her purpose. So when she's trying to get her grandma to like convince her, and the grandma's like, do you want me to say something to convince you? And it's like she knows it's her path. Oh, the comfort, I love it. Anyway, and then at the end, I still listen to just Moana songs at home. When she restores the heart and she's like, you know who you are, you know your name. All right, enough. But listen, okay, Moana is my film. I felt like it was like watching myself in the on the big screen, and fully embracing that way shower energy, and understanding that yes, you might live on the island where they're like the coconuts are dying, but it's what we've always done. In fact, that connects exactly to what I was just saying, because that island was crumbling, they couldn't find any more fish, their coconuts were turning to dirt, but they were like, we never left, we don't leave the island, we've always done it this way. Okay, you have to stay. And she had to break free of the conditioning of her culture, her society, her family, and go off and go out, not just because she wanted to, but literally to go on this journey for the sake of everybody. And I feel like that's where we're at right now, where we can't be like, well, this is always the political system that we've had, or capitalism is older than all of us, or any of that, right? It's like, no, we have to go out into the spiritual waters and see something else. All right, my cartoon preaching done for right now. Let's see what is unconscious that needs to be made conscious. Maybe it was that. Maybe the inner child wanted to talk about cartoons. Woo, Lord. Okay. Also, like a confirmation of what in the cards I'm seeing here. Yes, line Moana up. Watch it tonight. Confirmation of what Jeanette was saying earlier about working with the divine feminine energy, working with the feminine aspects of the angels, etc. Because we have mother energy, air and water, just coming through really strongly. But there's also a little bit more here. I just want to feel for a second. Bear with me. There's something about the crow and the eagle. There's also something here about indigenous practice, indigenous community, indigenous knowledge. Dope deck actually. The Vision Quest Tarot. This is. Whoop, I threw the cards at myself. And crown chakra energy here, and new creation. Love it, love it, love it. So just really a confirmation in terms of what's unconscious that needs to be made conscious. Hey, Cecile, we have the Seven of Pentacles energy here, which is the current conditions that we're living through. The crow energy really stuck out for me. Now, I'm not trying to, there's a tendency to vilify all animals that are black in color. And I'm not really about that. So I'm not really trying to vilify crow, generally speaking, but I want to talk about how it's coming through here, because it does feel like death energy, almost like carrion. The birds, the types of birds that come over a corpse, right? Vultures, etc. It's also feeling. I know that I had a conversation with someone who saw it somewhere. This idea of like crows being the security guards of the bird kingdom. I've seen crows actually break up fights between magpies. See, I've seen it, but there is this kind of peck depletion. This card is called, like pecking the earth dry, pecking our creativity dry. Also sunflowers here, right? So disconnecting us from the sun energy, believing that there isn't more life, more power, more vitality coming through. And this is the current conditioning and program, and this is what we're projected at all the time. It would be like when we were growing up and they were constantly showing us images of poverty in Africa, and like children with flies around them, and just literally condition us into believing that this is what was the picture of one of the most abundant continents on this planet. Okay, and it's the same energy in what we get from our social media and what we get from our political system, and the same messaging. There's not enough, there's lack, there's not enough to go around. So unfortunately, it's a, I don't know, if you work hard enough you'll do well, and everybody else struggles and dies. That's basically the messaging. But what we have is mother of air here is wisdom, and again this eagle energy. Okay, this is spirit guide energy, this is higher perspective and wisdom. It's also this idea that the eagle can fly at extreme heights and still see its prey from a distance. Okay, so it's the idea that even in what might feel or look like a barren landscape, we're able to look from that higher perspective and see what's of value, see what is sustaining. Okay, and it is about having the wisdom to know where the value is, and that's why I was saying like indigenous knowledge was coming through. When we had it was a big news story about the fires in the Amazon, and then many people sharing that indigenous people have a relationship with fire. They know safe and sacred burning rites in order to preserve the earth. And I feel like there is not only new spiritual knowledge to come through, but like I said, we've been already told you and been already written it. So there's also old spiritual, ancient spiritual knowledge to come through that is about what is whole, what is right, what is balanced in terms of our communities and how we build. Okay, there is, and really what I'm also feeling is that the body holds that knowledge. Literally the body, the physical temple knows. And so coming back to the body, coming back to earth-based practice is also kind of the restoration of balance here too. But it's believing in that wisdom. So for those of you who are struggling with the idea that we can have a new system, you should even screenshot this right now and look at this card whenever you're feeling that, how could anything change? Okay, remembering this sight, vision, creativity. I've been seeing crows a lot today, and my crown chakra been on fire. Raven stealing the moon. The crow, you dreamt this. Grandmother's knowledge, as Dr. Vandana Shiva talks about. So the mother of water was where the crown chakra energy was coming through for me. Literally remembering that there is higher perspective, higher wisdom that we can be connected to. And it is when we are connected to our feeling world, our spiritual lives. But there is more to this message. Hold on. Oh, yes, Spirit just brought it right back. Because I shared this with Tamil the other day. I love it. I love it. um, this actually is a birthing energy as well. It's a birthing energy, and it's about birthing the new generation that have a completely different, like how people all often talk about how the last child, like the eldest child, gets a certain experience and they have all of this weight of responsibility on them, and their parents typically make all their mistakes with the first child. And then as the children get younger and younger, they have freedoms they haven't been through, the difficulties that the first child went through, and so they just kind of have a different experience in life. This mother of water is talking about birthing new children. I don't want to be use too much spiritual jargon, but star seeds really. Birthing new spirits of all kinds from all places in the cosmic galaxy, who are going to come through and support the new vision. Which low-key is kind of why I'm excited about all these Sagittarius and Capricorn babies that are trying to get born while you guys are isolating and having your hibernation sex, okay? But there is a birthing energy here, okay? It's birthing the new in terms of like society structures, etc. But it's also birthing children who've not experienced the level of trauma that we have, okay? The level of lack. Okay, it's bringing them into completely different conditions that allows them to be creative, that allows them to see the world differently. Okay, so pregnancy energy, bambinas coming into the world. I think I talked a bit about this last week, or this kind of like get pregnant energy. And the activation of that within us as well, major upgrading process, Jeanette is saying. I was literally about to say, so all these cat babies, and I mean, I'm not going to say everyone born is going to hold this energy, but, and I don't think it's specifically even at this time, I was joking, but yeah, there are children waiting to be born now who can bring something different through. Adriana says more Capricorn is essential. Listen, I agree. I agree. I've been getting the Starseed card when I've been pulling cards for myself. Some of you already have Starseed children, truth be told. Okay, so it's about nurturing them, giving them what they need emotionally, spiritually, physically, allowing them to be the world changers that they will be. All right, woman on the edge of time. Spring into your mind. Oh, sorry, I'm shuffling, but there's one more card, which is just the piercing flame, the burning through, the creative energy here. Also, if I'm talking about the pregnancy energy, I mean, Ace of Wands is always very often, I won't say always, very often phallic for me. So like womb, penetration, babies, okay? But this is also just creative fire, okay? This is spirit fire. This is spirit coming through, okay? This is peaks as well. I'm seeing the mountains, okay? Taking things to a higher level, higher perspective. We've got sun energy in the back. So this is all supported. This is all good stuff. Jeanette saying, yep, many are already here. Parents have been needing more support to help them. I definitely agree with that. Okay, so starting to recognize your special children, recognizing their gifts, recognizing their needs, recognizing what you need to be as parents and guardians to them. I'm sure Spirit will be beginning to give instruction and supporting you in finding some of that out. Okay. I'm not really feeling like I should do love messages today. Do you feel like your daughter is? I'm going to be honest. No, actually, I won't. Let me behave. Let me behave. Not everything should be said publicly. Some things are reserved for your private communities. So, I'll ask Spirit if I should do love messages or not. I don't think I should. Let's see. Nah. So if you lot were hoping for messages about your love life, it's just not the time for it, okay? We're not doing that today. That's not the vibration we're on. All right, so we're gonna close up. You're currently pregnant. Congratulations. We're gonna close up with oracle message. I probably am going to use the Starseed Oracle, which I got recently. Oh, the cards are beautiful. And I will also use this Energy Oracle for messages by, what do you call it? By element group. Okay. Funny, I don't feel like the love message either yet. Nah, we don't need that right now. I mean, love on your partners. Like, I'm not saying love is not important and stuff, but you just, it's not for right now. Deep breaths, everyone. Whew. Okay. A read. Yes. Wow, Spirit just come through with the confirmation. Yeah. And also confirmation of what Jeanette said. So, loosening your grip. This is really about control issues, okay? So reminding you about where we're at right now and your impulse to try and control everything and try to know what's happening and try to like put everything in order, okay? I love this. Loosen your grip, okay? Trust in the divine order, make practical, reasonable decisions, but keep coming back to that home frequency. Keep bringing in that energy of trust. Keep asking for higher guidance. Do so from a space of divine neutrality, okay? Bring yourself to center. And then we have Star Keeper. This actually feels like the parental energy here. So those of you who are parents, to start seeds, start children gifted with a special spiritual mission, you're going to need to start seeking wisdom, okay, for how to support and look after them. This also feels like ancestral connection as well, okay, so opening up to that too. And then as though that was not enough, we got the golden children, okay. Just coming through with the yes to the babies, those here, those coming. Rare gifts, innocence, tenderness from your beautiful children, those to be born, those already here. And then we got inner earth. You'll survive this. New solutions and new beginnings. Listen, screenshot it if you need to, okay? When you're feeling a bit anxious about all that's going on in the world, this is the card for you. But this message also felt to me about the internal activations, okay? The spiritual changes going on within us, the inner earth literally being our own bodies, okay? Our own inner children, bringing online, coming into activation of those aspects within our own selves. We love it. Ready to enter my auntie season. Cough, cough, you know who you are in this chat. Nikki's trying to be aunties to the new babies. Okay? Right. So lastly, we're going to do messages by all that aqua color. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I think I'm going to have to keep this card out all week for me. By my bed. Beautiful. I'm going to do messages via element group. And then we'll close. So here we starting with fire signs. Right at the front of the gate again, starting with you. So Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. Remembering that I'm speaking to archetypes, so it could be your sun, moon, or rising, or other dominant energy. Just depends on what you're living through most strongly right now. What's the message for the fire sign archetype? Okay. Yep. Oh, interesting. I wasn't expecting that for you, fire signs. Okay. Air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius archetype. Feels like upgrades for you. Yes, you hold a very important role Yes. Sorry, I'm getting excited. But bring it through. Bring all that newness through. Those of you holding that archetype, living very strongly through that energy, it's going to be really important in terms of bringing in new, building the new. Yeah, do you know what? I do have a habit of leaving firesides to the end, but I've been feeling you lot needing to get straight out the gate. And that was sacral chakra here as a confirmation. Okay. Wow. An action. Firesides, I'll come to you in a minute. I don't know why your cards are all jumping out. More to say to you. Water signs. Okay. This energy is for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces archetype. Oh Lord, you hey, you guys are dealing with almost makes you want to do a love message. You guys are dealing with soul contracts, attachment energy, love vibration stuff. Come to that, and then Earth signs, gang, Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. You got a lot of cards. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Yes. Your energy is a bit. I'm glad I did Earth last because that feels like there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle. I'm gonna need a minute with that. So fire signs. Feels like alchemy. It feels like bringing the fire down. Feels like leadership through the, so sorry, I'll show you the cards. You've got Magician and the Mirror. It feels like leadership through mirroring, as in causing people to face themselves, but not in terms of like confrontation or arguments or words. It's really by you holding your own fire. Like literally, as they look at you, they see themselves, they see what needs to be activated within them, they see what needs healing, and they see what needs changing. So there's definitely creativity, manifestation through the fire energy for you right now. It feels also like working with fire specifically. So like I said, on the most rudimentary level, accessing being in the sun, but you might need fire in your homes to safely, obviously. But if you have fireplaces, lighting them, it's like being around literally the elemental fire is a support to you. But it is alchemy because I feel like on this other hand here, there's kind of cooling energy that's going on, and then you get the rest and rejuvenation, which is an extension and continuation of that cooling. So that's the card that surprised me for you. But it also feels like discernment and burning through the burnout message, and also learning how to be still, learning how to be in a restful state without losing spark, fire, creativity, impetus. Okay, so it feels like many of you generate your sense of movement or action or inspiration or creativity from busyness, from being active, from being out in the world, right? So even right now, needing to be secluded is likely a bit difficult for you. But it's also a lesson about how to maintain the spark. So you know, I've got Aries in the 10th house, so I'm fiery when it comes to work. And external work, say it's what I do in the world. And I feel like often for me, if I get an idea, I want to do it immediately. Okay, I want to get it done today, and I want to just go hard until it's done. And then sometimes I feel like if I don't immediately do that, I might lose the passion or lose the inspiration or lose the intention. So that's what we're working on, those holding the fire archetype. It's understanding the need for rest and rejuvenation. It's knowing we don't have to rush and get everything done fast, immediate. Okay, it is holding the fire even when we're in resting cooling periods, even when we're connecting to the softer, to the intuitive, to the emotional. That's what you're mastering right now, okay? So birthing the ideas, bringing things through and holding them, not needing to take action on everything immediately. That's your message for the week. Now, air signs. I love it because, you know, even this is alchemy. As a fire sign start to hold and maintain the creative fire, you're almost fanning the flame in some way. This is for Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. So you've got the sixth chakra intuition here. I'll show you all the cards at once, actually. You got the intuition energy, you got the blossoming abundance, and you got the moon, literally, or moon goddess, literally bringing this forward from the void, okay? From the absent space, from the unseen realm, from the higher levels, through the power of the intuition, so that we understand how to support the abundance that is blossoming for us. So those of you living through the fire archetype, some of those new ideas that we're talking about, sorry, not fire, air archetype, the ideas, the intellect, the reason needs to be matched with intuition this week. Okay, and really creating time to expand the intuition, creating time to connect with the unseen realms, okay, through meditation primarily, dream space, of course, so that you can get the ideas that lead to this. That's really your work this week, air signs. Water signs. Let me just show you the cards. Contract, attachment, angel of love. If I'm being honest, what I feel like is that you lot are, you know, when it's like, it feels like it's the end of the world. Isn't there a song with Miguel and Janelle Monáe that's like, it's the last chance for our love or something like that? I feel like what's happening to you, water signs, is that as things seem extreme, it's causing you to romanticize or be nostalgic about love, old love particularly, and to start like calling on your old contracts with people, soul contracts, old attachments to lovers. So I feel like it's like, oh, so I'm sorry to laugh at you, but I just feel like you're trying to like prime time. That's it. The song I was referring to. I feel like you're like, I need to text my ex, or at this time where we're so unsure, I've just been thinking about you. It's terrible of me to laugh at you. It's because you're not doing the most, okay? You're doing the most, okay? Listen, this is not a reason for you not to start running back to this stuff and dealing with people you have no business dealing with anymore because the world is ending. Like, you don't need to stop it. Let me, I'm not doing love messages generally, but I'm going to put a little bit more for you so that you can start behaving yourselves. Oh, you're funny, water signs, you're funny. That really made me laugh. Okay, so we know what you shouldn't be doing. How can you work with the love vibrations you're feeling? It's so funny, you know, because you know what came through? See, I stopped laughing. Justice card, Four of Wands, completion, and Ace of Swords. And I was talking to one of my water sign friends today, and she said to me, you know, it's really interesting, like when, you know, the world starts feeling like this and people start getting nostalgic, but it's like, it's interesting who you do think about, but it's also interesting the people you're not thinking about, right? Like the past energies or whatever that you're not kind of yearning for or calling up. And I thought, sorry, that's the message for you, water signs. Okay, reminding you that these are old contracts that are done, finished, and over, and really have no business being in your life right now. Completion, okay? they're done. And the Ace of Swords is about allowing them to cut a new cycle, okay? So don't allow the end of the world energy to make you go back to things that are finished, okay? Let this be the Tower energy that lets things shut down. I'm going hard for you, water signs. I'm going to put a little bit more on that. Okay, so why I did that is because I asked for some of you, are these energies or control contracts or experiences that are still applicable, or the energy is still open or helpful, right? Because listen, some of you know you have no business because you already know these people make you feel like this, okay? In the darkness, in the cloud, and the void. So just stop it. You don't even need further instruction. You know, stop calling on that ex just because the world is over. But some of you, their energy may be coming up because Three of Pentacles and Page of Prince of Pentacles here, really, which is about saying there is an opportunity to build again, but it has to be in a different direction. And you get this with the 10 of Cups and the Death and Rebirth. So for many of you, to be honest, I actually feel like this isn't really the best time. Could be because we're still in Mercury retrograde shadow, but I feel like it's not necessarily the best time for you to be reaching out to these people, because you want to make sure that this is not old energy you're recycling, okay? If there is opportunity here to rebuild, it has to be new energy and going in a different direction, and it has to also be mutual. So it's not about either reaching out to people who have disconnected themselves from you, who are avoidant or absent, and trying to convince or generate this energy out of this. It's not that at all. It has to feel alive, it has to feel mutual, it has to move differently and be in a different connection, a different direction, sorry, and it has to feel like this, like we pour together. And if it's not that, leave it alone. There's no convincing, but it's not the time to start saying to somebody, I really think it's supposed to be this or that, okay? If they're not convinced of that, you don't have any business trying to convince them. All right, water signs. Had to give you a little bit more after I laughed at you. So this was like a personal reading, so on point, I'm glad. All right, and then earth signs. I need more water. I need to look at your cards a bit longer, actually. Oh, look, I've done another hour, 23 seconds. I'm going to do the earth. I'm going to come straight back to the earth sign message, and I'm going to hang around a bit longer after that as well. So even if you're not earth signs, feel free to come back in. Angela says me too. Earth signs, you're the builders. I like it. I like this message a lot. Yes, Spirit. Love it. Love it. Okay. This evening is blessed. Thank you, Leonie. You're welcome. I feel like this is going to be deep. I need to put the kids to bed. I'll catch up on the rest. Ciao, ciao. Earth signs. Got a lot of cards. I'm going to start with this one. With these two, the Temple Path and a woman holding a heart. Okay. This is talking about the direction we're moving in, what we're building, what is right, and doing so from the heart. Remember, I talked about multi-dimensional heart in previous weeks, talking about aligning with the heart, living from the heart, listening to the heart. I think if you go to my YouTube channel, I've titled it multi-dimensional heart, I think. So go and watch that one if you didn't hear it, because it's about the heart having a mouth, like literally hearing from the heart. This is our work at the moment, earth signs. This is what we need to do, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. And let me break it down for you a little bit more. We have the envy energy here with the King of Swords, and the Fool card. Yeah. And what this is saying is that as we move forward and we start living from the heart, we can't really be in this space where we're kind of watching the Joneses or trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? We can't live vicariously through celebrities and see the wonderful lives that they're living while we're in darkness. And it's not enough, it's not okay for the wealth and the blessing to belong to the few while the masses suffer and just look out enviously at what we wish we could have. That's not okay. And so we have this Aquarius energy here, very humanitarian Aquarius energy, and we've got the Fool card. Okay, a new beginning. We're not continuing this, earth signs, and we're very important in terms of what physically happens in the world about changing this energy. We have a woman holding a coin. Okay, so we had a woman holding a heart, woman holding a coin. Another reminder that we're getting a lot of feminine energy coming through. So this is about rebuilding or continuing our building, as I said before. It's the end of your Saturn return. Congrats. This is about building what is of value based on the principles of unconditional love, based on the principles of the heart. We need a politics that is rooted in radical love. That's what we need, okay? We need communities that are rooted in love, and our building has to look like that. But what did I say? You got the High Priestess with the Queen of Wands, more feminine energy here. And so this is talking about bringing through the wisdom, okay? And you know, the fire signs, that fiery energy, that spirit energy being where the information comes from. So it's another confirmation of that, what I was talking about, spiritual thought leaders. Earth signs, you need to be getting instruction because you're the builders. So you need to be going to the spiritual architects, okay? Connecting with people who have this energy, who can commune on a spiritual level and let you know what the vision is so that you can build according to that vision. Yes, so you said this reminds you of Queen of Pentacles. Yes, very much so. Now, we also have the Patience card, and I said before, this wouldn't happen overnight, okay? This is an energy that will take time. It's work that will take time. Hence, Adiola saying that we need more Capricorns. Like, yes, okay? Capricorns, you know, Capricorns are going to be able to understand the architect plan. They're going to know what things look like. They're going to know how to apply it to the collective, okay? What does it need to look like? The Taurus energy is going to do the work. Taurus is the one that will really get it done. And Virgo is going to be focusing on healing the energy that's leaving, okay? Healing people that have been wounded by what is previous and adjusting us into new ways of being in the body, okay? So Earth energy is really dope. And the Patience is because we've got the failure energy here, this going around in circles, drawing you know, sandcastles energy. We're waiting for this to leave, we're waiting for this collapse, this energy to end, that to be washed out, passed over. And then we have the Hanged Man, okay, with the anxiety energy here. Okay, so we are still in a kind of Pisces energy, like I said, still in a holding pattern in some ways, still going through this cycle of letting some of this more difficult experiences pass through. We need to be patient, but we also need to know that there's going to be work to do, and the Earth archetype are going to be on the front lines of getting it done, bringing it into physical experience. Woo, that is the extent of my abilities today. Your girl is finished as far as cards go. I got no more. She is done. Spent. Okay, I see all the love hearts. Do remember to check the newsletter that I sent out, because it's got details about what I'm doing for you over the next few days. And remember, because I said that I am very likely, I'll be surprised if the information changes, but from what I can see right now, I'm gonna go into a work break soon. So, you know, work with me now while you can, and then hold space for me while I need to be gone. in a pendy. Oh, I can't wait. I might just watch it without you all. Enjoy my apple crumble. Yes, and if you're not subscribed, obviously go to my website, NicoleBlack.com, and subscribe to the newsletter. And I will see you all soon. Probably, I'll see about whether or not I'm going to do the group meditations this week. But if not, then I'll see you on Friday when I go live for the donation tarot readings. Seems nice as always. You're grateful. Much love to you all. Be safe. I'll speak to you soon.